clapping sounds. Anyone who grew up playing basketball has probably dreamed about hearing their name called by the big boss Adam Silver on draft night. After years of working super hard and sweating a lot in the sport they loved, draft night is like the best reward for all that hard work. It's like getting a gold star that says they're good enough to play with the best basketball players in the world. Even though it's just the start of playing basketball for many, it's also time to party because they can look back at their kid self and say, they made their dreams come true. This brings us to today's story about a player who was about to have this exact thing happen to him. But he chose to do something totally different, really risky, and honestly pretty crazy. That player is Terrence Davis from the Toronto Raptors. We'll talk about what kind of player everyone thought he would be when the draft happened, the choices he made, and how he got to where he is now. But before we start, make sure to hit the LIKE button and follow our channel because we really appreciate all your support. Now let's get started. Going way back to when Terrence Davis was in high school, he was never scared of hard things. Davis played more than one sport and actually got more famous playing football. If you asked any of his friends, coaches, or teammates, they probably would have said he should pick football when thinking about college. Davis himself said, "I was a 6'4" player who caught passes, with long arms and huge hands who could catch everything thrown at me. Why wouldn't I play football?" But at the same time, between his third and fourth years of high school, he was ranked as the country's 40th best shooting guard. So while he wasn't the very best player at his position, people were starting to notice him. Because of this, he had to choose between football and basketball. To pretty much everyone's shock, he picked basketball. Like I said earlier, Davis was not scared of hard challenges. His dad even told him to pick basketball because he knew it would be the bigger challenge for him to face. So with only one scholarship offer from a big college, he took it and promised to go to Ole Miss before his last year of high school even started. When he got to Ole Miss in his first year, nothing was promised to him on the team. He learned the hard way what that really meant. He only played about 6 minutes each game that year, and many times he didn't get to play at all. This was really hard for him, and in a recent interview with NBA.com, he even said that he was wondering if he picked the wrong sport, but this worry only made him work harder. In his second year, he not only earned a regular spot on the team, but he even worked his way into being a starter. He had a great year with averages of 14.9 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.4 steals per game while making 48% of his shots. That year got him back on track for his long-term dream, which was to make it to the NBA. After his third year, he even tested things out a little bit. But based on what scouts and agents told him, he chose to come back for his fourth year to try to make himself look better as a player. When he did that, he had his best year in college, getting career-high numbers in points, rebounds, assists, and steals while also shooting his best from three-point range. He got invited to the NBA draft combine to get ready for the real thing. After that year, while there, he definitely impressed people. Recently, top players have stopped showing up to the combine scrimmage games, which is good for players on the edge trying to look better in front of scouts. Davis played in both scrimmage games and played really well, making 12 out of 21 shots in those games combined. On top of that, his body measurements were also pretty awesome. His arm span measured 6'9", and his hand size was the biggest among shooting guards. By the end of those workouts in front of tons of NBA teams, Davis seemed like a sure thing to at least get picked in the second round. After looking at several mock drafts, his name showed up in all of them. People thought he would get picked anywhere from the mid-30s to mid-40s. The combination of his getting better offensive game, his always good defense, and his perfect body build made him a treasure for any team willing to take a chance on him. The night of the draft, a bunch of his family got together to watch and hopefully hear Davis's name called. But what they would soon find out would be pretty surprising to say the least. Davis told everyone to wait and to trust him because before the draft, he had chosen to go a route that would be very risky but could pay off big time, knowing there was almost no chance. He would hear his name called in the first round, which is where players get guaranteed contracts. Davis had no interest in getting a two-way contract. Two-way contracts are what most second-round picks get from teams, and it means they spend half their time playing with the NBA team and half their time playing with the team's minor league team. Playing time is rare for players with these contracts, and chances are very small in many cases. So instead, Davis told teams in the second round not to draft him at all. The moment that thousands of kids dream about, hearing Adam Silver call his name out on draft night, was right there in front at him. But in his words, he chose to bet on himself instead. The next day, he actually got a call from his Ole Miss head coach, Kermit Davis, who asked if he was sure he made the right choice. Davis explained to him that he truly thought he did. His goal at the time was to play so well in Summer League that a team would offer him a guaranteed contract instead of a two-way contract. Even though he didn't get drafted, obviously a lot of things had to go right for this plan to work. But he believed in his own ability, and when the Nuggets offered him a spot on their Summer League team, he took it right away. Even in the few months between the end of college season and the start of Summer League action, you could tell Davis had gotten a lot better. He did exactly what he planned to do by becoming a star in Summer League with several big performances. He always played with high energy, his defense was tough and physical, and most importantly, his shooting kept getting better and better. Anyone who watched could tell he had what it takes to be a promising 3-and-D player. By the end of Summer League, several teams were interested in him, including some really good teams like the Nuggets, Sixers, Celtics, and Warriors. But all of those teams didn't want to give him the guaranteed contract he wanted. So when the Toronto Raptors came in and offered him what he wanted, he took it right away. Some things are just meant to be, and this was one of them for several reasons. Fred VanVleet of the Raptors was actually one of his biggest cheerleaders through this whole thing. VanVleet is also a former undrafted player who's now finding tons of success in the NBA. Thanks mostly to the Raptors believing in him, he's become one of the great success stories in the league. VanVleet has even started his own brand with the motto, bet on yourself, which is the same thing Davis told everyone he was doing. Davis gives VanVleet credit for this idea. On top of that, both Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green had chosen to leave the Raptors in free agency that summer, so playing time on the wing was going to be available. If there's one thing for sure about Raptors coach Nick Nurse, it's that he's only going to play guys who believe in the team's defensive ideas, work hard, and do their job as an undrafted player who had to work for everything he was given up. To this point, Davis did not plan to slow down anytime soon. The Raptors also signed former lottery pick Stanley Johnson in the offseason. After a disappointing time in Detroit, many expected him to earn those minutes as a chance to try to turn his career around and get a second chance. But so far this season, Johnson has only played in 5 games, and in those games, he's pretty much only been given garbage time minutes. Davis is a real contributor in the Raptors' rotation this season. While his per-game averages may not jump out as anything special, the reason he's gained Nick Nurse's trust so quickly is because he fits into their system perfectly and does all the little things that teams want from their role players. He's currently shooting about 42% from three-point range. He has a defensive rating under 100, and his net rating, which measures how many points the Raptors outscore opponents by when he's on the floor, currently sits at plus 9.8, which is up there with the best on the team. He doesn't try to do too much. He plays defense the way the Raptors need him to, and he spreads the floor for Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, and Fred VanVleet to work around him. Davis is truly one of the best stories of the season so far. But because he's not a big name, I feel like what he's been able to do in his first year has gone way under the radar. He took one of the biggest risks possible at the time of the draft and pulled off his high risk, high reward plan perfectly. Moving forward, he's looking like someone that any team would love to have in their rotations. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below your thoughts on Davis's road to the NBA. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Music.